Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? And welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only from, well, my bedroom via BeExposedRadio.com. Um, so I am just turning off my sound and such. So I'm over this. I say that every week we do this, but I really am over this. And it's not even the quarantine part, it's just I feel like I'm working harder from here virtually than I do when I'm actually working out. And that maybe that's a good thing because I am getting some things done that um, I've been putting off or I haven't had time to really focus on. But beyond that, my energy level is waning, so I'm trying to figure out like diet and exercise. Can I hear? I can hear myself. Hello. So just trying to figure out diet and exercise and reformatting my schedule. Trying to create, work and business and not trying to go stir crazy. I made the conscious decision to really stay away from people beyond like when I take my weekly trip to the market and CVS. But I've made a conscious decision to physically stay away from people while trying to um, socially up my attention span. And I'm really excited about um, how things have been unfolding for me. For instance, I've started hosting a number of virtual events, and I've started to create some vehicles for myself in terms of event planning. I did my first show last weekend when we did blueprints, and it was really successful in terms of the turnout as well as just the feedback. Um, so that was really exciting. Um, and well, I have to move. I have to breathe. This isn't cemented. It is. It's on a wooden surface, but I'm on my bed. So maybe I'm gonna put it. See now, I'm gonna for Friday. I'm gonna straighten up my desk and I'm gonna put it on my desk. Are you happy? But I am. I'm not. I'm really. I'm not at the point of being miserable, but I guess just working and being trying to be as active and busy as possible and then networking with a lot more people now. I'm getting a little I think I feel a little drained. So I think probably for the rest of the day I'm gonna just take it easy and just try to relax. I'm gonna take a hot bath tonight and just soak for about an hour or so and just relax a little bit because I felt the need to work. Hey, E Digger, I felt the need to work a little bit more, and I'm gonna just kind of relax. So if you're watching this, please take a moment to share this out. You can find this on YouTube Live on Be Exposed Radio Station or on the Artist Exchange Facebook page if you're already there. But just please take a moment to share this out. My next upcoming event is Erotic Poetry Night. So if you are an erotic poet, please hit me up at 443 839 0118 and text in, put erotic poetry, and then put your stage name, and then I'll put you into on the list for the open mic. And it is partially an open mic, but it is a feature. We have a feature. Miss Naja B. Naja is our feature, and we're actually celebrating her birthday that day. So tune in. You'll be able to, if you go to the Artist Exchange Radio Show page or YouTube, you'll be able to find it. The event is up on Facebook, so if you search the event section, it's up there, and you'll be able to get a link. You can go to Eventbrite, and you can donate. You can tip, give a tip to the host and the feature for the performance, and it'll be this Thursday at 9 p.m. Please tune in. If you're not a poet, get the nice, sexy, pajamas ready, or get you a nice bath. Line up all your bath salts and bubble baths and such, and get yourself a little sexy atmosphere, especially if you're in a house quarantining by yourself. Get a little sexy vibe going. Maybe set up some candles and come join us on Thursday. It'll be hosted by Blue Waters of Be Exposes, the Cocktail Social. So definitely tune in. He gonna keep it real. Blue is bad, and he gonna really keep it going for all of us. And I'm really excited that these two get to um, uh, join us, Naja B. Naja and Blue Waters. And then this coming Sunday, the 3rd of May, May is here already. April went like that. And we're here in May. So May 3rd, we'll be doing an August Wilson tribute in celebration of August Wilson's birthday, which is today. So everybody, shout out August Wilson. If you don't know who he is, please take a moment to Google him. He wrote a cycle of plays, one for every decade in the 20th century, and he's a phenomenal playwright who has since passed on, but his work lives, his legacy lives, his mark on theater in general lives. So please take a moment, come on out with us on Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Also, if you go to Facebook, you'll be able to see the same link for that. I think our guest for the day, Miss Nikki Scroggins, is here. So whenever she's ready, patch her on in. On May the 17th, following the August Wilson tribute, we'll be doing a reading of The Big Girl Chronicles, written by Miss Nicole Scroggins. And we produced that a number of years ago for the Downtown Cultural Arts Centers. They had a series of plays doing that. They did original play series, I think maybe once or twice a month. And Nicole asked me to help her direct that. So I directed that for her, and we are now going to put it back up in the Artists Exchanges playwright series. And I'm really excited about how this is going. I mean, that, after Nicole's, that'll make 4 events. And then starting, not this week, the following week, we'll be doing that erotic poetry slam every Saturday from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. So tune in. It's going to be real sexy. I've already lined up a number of poets to be able to come out with us and join us. I don't know, is Nicole with us? Whenever she's ready, Monty, you can join us. I'm really, 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 really.
I'm here.
I can't see her.
Why not?
Maybe because I'm looking at
Can you
myself.
hear me?
Yeah, okay. I was
Can you
being
hear me?
selfish and only looking at myself. I can hear you. You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was having trouble all the other time. Being a little spiffy with my ear mic and such. But hey, Nicole, how are you?
Excuse my quarantine hair.
Well, I just wrapped mine up, so.
Yeah, I was
You see
running a little late because, ironically, I had a Big Girl Chronicle moment because I finished my work and then I was like, I want a frosted lemonade, and it had went over.
Oh, from Wendy's?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's just as good.
hmm
Oh,
It's very tasty.
I know. I can taste it right now.
hmm hmm hmm
Oh, the Frosty. Ah, that's my
Yeah.
Like, this is really hindering me. I had came down 30 pounds. Oh my God, before this in
What
my
happens in
last
quarantine
physical.
stays in quarantine. That's my motto.
No, this shit will come with me because I have a snack table just right here to my right and alone. And that's just, I'm trying not to, like, I have been doing good with not just snacking. I'll snack and put it away because I want to save it because I only want to go to the store once a week. I don't want to keep
hmm
going every 5 minutes. So that's what's been holding me up. But hey, how are you other than that?
So I'm over everything. But I'm using this time to be creative. I've been
Okay.
trying to make my way through all of August Wilson's plays. I'm currently
Okay.
on um, Fences right now.
Are you reading them or are you watching them?
I'm reading them so far.
If you go to
Um,
my radio show page, I just posted a link, and it's actually a link of all of his plays being read. So if that because sometimes our brain is mushed through this quarantine, so if that works, you can switch off every now and again.
well, I was because it's been so long.
Hmm.
Because I just finished Seven Guitars, and I was like, I forgot how much I like this one, and so I
Yeah.
actually
Do you
found a
want to do? Are
monologue.
you going to join us for a monologue on Saturday?
Uh,
I mean, on
no,
Sunday. I mean,
no, thank you. But
how you going?
I'm old. Don't
This
nobody got
one
time to be
monologue.
learning.
This one
Don't
monologue.
nobody got time to be learning monologues. But
This
then again,
one
we don't have no
monologue.
time.
Just
It's so
one.
it's so last minute, Nate.
It's not. It's for
It's so
August
last
Wilson.
minute.
Today's his birthday and everything.
It's so last minute. I'll think about it. I'll have to check my schedule.
I swear, this quarantine has brought the diva out of everybody. If I hear one more person say, "Let me check my schedule," what are you doing? Because if I find out you're doing something illegal, I'm snitching. But we have a number of gentlemen from not even from the DMV, but from we have a NOLA representative, we have a New York, we possibly have another person from New York. I'm working on California and
Mm.
Arizona. I have to message Mama Jackie again to see if confirm and see if she's gonna uh, reprise her Ma Rainey role, and I
Do
am
you have
really
any
excited.
ladies?
I did reach out to one lady because August Wilson is real man heavy, so I wanted to keep the representation accurate. But I am looking for maybe two more ladies to join us. It wasn't a second thought, but I wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
you're right. You're right.
represented.
Hmm.
And that's why I really love August Wilson. I love all plays really, but I really love August Wilson because there are not a lot of strong black
Hmm.
male characters that you can be the bad guy or the good guy or the spirit or whomever in August Wilson played. He really made it colorful, and then he also made some really strong choices for women actors as well. So
That's why when I
I've
did
been in love
piano
with
lesson, I was like,
it.
I said, because when
Yeah.
I agreed to it, I was like, wait a minute, she got a whole bunch of
Yeah.
lines here. Hold
Yeah.
up. I was
And
coming in expecting.
Gem of the Ocean is really centered
Hmm.
around the mama, and it really I just love August Wilson. It's like one of those CDs that you can listen to from beginning to end and find your
Hmm.
favorite one. I was just talking to our friend Kyle, who is going to be one of our New York representatives by way of NOLA, by way of Baltimore. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, we were talking about the ones we've never seen before, and I think out of all of the ones that all of his plays, I've never seen seven guitars mounted as a full production. We did it in college for like a
Hmm.
director's class, but I've never seen that one done as a full production. I've seen all the other ones, but I've never seen seven guitars done. So that may
That's
be
the
a
first
talent.
one I had actually ever seen at center
For sure.
stage, and I was a little girl,
Uh huh.
and it was amazing. And you know how you don't realize it, like even when we were in Coppin and we read
Mhm.
it, and when I went to see Radio Golf down center stage, and
Mhm.
I was like,
And
I
that
feel
that was
like
the first time it was ever shown when we
what
saw it at
Radio
Sunday Stage
Golf.
that time. Mhm.
Hmm. And I was like, have I seen any of his? I mean, we had seen like community theater and stuff. I was like, have
Mhm.
I ever seen any other thing? And then it started, going back, and I
Coming back.
remember, it. I was a little girl, and I can
Mm.
still visualize that whole the set. Well, all my
Where did you
memories
see
connected
it?
to food. and they were cooking on the stage because my father had taken me and my friend because we had a hot dog cart across the street from center stage at the state office building, and what
Uh-huh.
they did was they told my parents if we bought a subscription, they would place an ad of our
Mm.
business in their book, and that's how they got a subscription, and that's how I started seeing plays down Center
Oh,
Stage.
wow.
And I remember they were cooking on the stage, and me and my friend was like, "That sausage should smell good."
And it felt real, like it was real. I
Uh,
I remember the first one I saw was Gem of the Ocean, and that's I actually got to go to Broadway to see Felicia Rashad do it, and it was amazing to see like um her perform, but it was just I had never seen a black play before. Like, of
mhm.
course, in school and stuff like that, but like on a Broadway stage, that was my first Broadway show outside of The Lion King. But
It makes a difference.
yeah,
People.
it makes a difference.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I actually got to see myself. In terms of who you are, tell us who you are. Like, what does Nikki do? Who is Nikki? I don't know Nikki. I know the couple, but
So
Nikki is
extra.
a grown woman now.
Nikki is Nicole 2.0.
Okay,
Uh,
a grown woman, a grown woman.
um, just I'm still an actor, more
Okay.
confident, probably. In the sense that I don't care, you get what you get.
Mm.
um, I
You
think I've.
just did piano lesson. It got cut
Mhm.
short because of the quarantine, but you just did
Mhm.
piano lesson.
I think I take more um risks and trust myself more. Um, I'm my creativity I think is back. I think I'd lost it for a long time, I think,
Mm,
and I've found it again, and I
mm,
think I've kind of given myself permission to find it again because I'd
mm.
been through like a really rough patch.
Right.
Um, I'm actually working on another show that I'm really, really excited about. And so actually this quarantine is good in that sense because I'd been jotting down and I'd started writing it maybe 4 or 5 months ago in a book,
Mm,
and then like I kind of had gotten as far as I could with it and then left it, and so now I'm adding a little more to it. And I'm like, when I finish this one, I want to do as much as I can to get it produced because
right.
I really think that um, it needs to be seen by like all audiences, but
Hmm.
the characters um, are black. But I feel like it can be for all people, but they're black because I want.
It's frustrating to me that we have that mind. Well, I'm not gonna say mindset, but we have to think about things like that because other cultures don't have to think about that. They just put their work
Hmm.
on, and they're not
Hmm.
worrying about is it gonna be perceived by black culture
Yeah,
or
like
other people.
I feel like they would want to whitewash it.
Mm,
Um, but I don't want it to be whitewashed. I want it to be
right.
because it's nothing there that would make it like stereotypical. Like you know what I'm trying to say. How
I
they be like,
do.
oh, this is it's just a family, but they are dealing with a tragedy,
Right.
and I don't want it to be whitewashed.
But it I think that's up to the playwright, the director. As actors, we have to sway wherever direction goes. But
Hmm.
I think as Black artists, we have to make a concerted effort not to um, play up to what white art is
I want this
supposed
to
to be.
be, I want an educated,
Hmm.
or I mean, not like educated, but I want representation. I don't want everything to have to be, for it to be shown to be a stereotypical. I want a stereotypical family for people to come see to feel good. You know, like I call them struggle plays for audiences
But
to
even
come.
that, and even that term, it comes from us not having all the resources and us finding feeling that passion to do what we do regardless.
Mhm.
But it's just it even planning these virtual events, it's really gotten me to a space of just not liking how the status quo is, even if as I share it into certain groups and I'm asked certain questions about things, and it's just it's heartbreaking to me that we're still as and we're in our 30s now and we're still going through, deciding to do plays and how to market plays and you know
Well, I tell you,
go ahead.
well, I tell you this because the where I work, and
Mhm.
we have um a new person who
Mhm.
is in a high position, right? And they
Mhm.
look like me and you, and they
Oh,
know what they're doing, okay?
right.
And they have people that um they're in charge of now,
Mhm.
and they have came
That
in with
don't look
a
like us.
great plan, and I loved it. They've already came in, and they started in like the end of January, and they met with every department. They
Mhm.
introduced themselves. They said they wanted input from every single person in the station. They don't believe that every person, that only a few people should be making the decisions for everyone. They want
Mhm.
to reflect the entire state. They want to tell excellent stories about Baltimore City and not just certain areas. And they
Right.
said whether they're here for a year or 2 years, they're going to come in and do what they plan, and that's it. And if people don't like it, they don't care. And then the questions from my department that we don't even answer to this person. The
Mhm.
questions from certain people, well, how are you going to pay for this? Well, in my background, I've never seen this work because this person wants to do town halls and everything to really get input from the people,
Mhm.
right? My
Mhm.
man came up in there and said, "Well, let me tell you what I've done at my previous position." Had all the facts, and I was like, "Oop, oop," and you can
Mhm.
tell that they're not used to seeing people on this level. So, and and clearly he's you can tell when somebody's been used to this their whole life because he came in there with everything and shut it down. So
Mhm.
it's just I loved it. I was, me, I was in there like whatever he needs, I'm here.
Mhm.
And then on
It's
the
it,
same note, and
but
gave everybody Starbucks cards. I don't even use Starbucks, but he was winning.
I like the lemonade there. That's it. That's it. That's it. But but that seems to be a problem that a lot of us. Well, you've worked with um, I want to say culturally undiverse,
I'm the
if that's
only. I'm
even a
always the
word,
only. This is the first time I'm
right?
not the only.
And that's been my story throughout school up into minus college. But I've made a more conservative effort to be more um, diverse in the people that I work with because I wanted to learn different things. I wanted to learn different perspectives, and it's really uh, I wanted to learn different perspectives on being an artist, the business side, figuring out those things. And what I've realized, there are a lot of people who don't look like us that are making decisions for us, that are trying to um, that are trying to uh, add our stories and our content into their daily day-to-day business, but they don't want us, or they
Mm-hmm.
include us in terms of what the budget says, or what the grant rather says that they have to have, or the protocol for the grant says, and we're normally there as the audience, or the people that the content is taken from, and then they recreate it into something else, but then they own that thing. And then the people who contributed to it have no ownership over it, has no say so in how it's being presented. And that creates a problem for me. That really creates a problem for me. And what has been your struggle in terms of getting your work seen in this?
Um, I think just meeting the right people, I think, and find a lot of times when you go to um like conferences, or I tend to sit on on a lot of webinars and things, finding people that have that buy-in in what you do. And I finally, the last few years, really broken out of my shell and started getting to know people and
Mhm.
starting to find those cheerleaders and those genuine relationships, because
Right.
I got trust issues, and finding those people that will advocate for you and don't want anything for you, because it's a fine line. And I don't
Hmm.
believe in putting everything out there, because I don't think you should trust anybody 100%.
Right.
But
Yeah.
kind of that exchange and learning as much as you can. And if somebody has a resource, because that's what I do, I pay attention to everything. And if somebody says, "Hey, well, you know, you can use this," or "I know so and so, would you like to meet them?" Sure, I'll meet them, and I may not actually even want to meet them, but I'll just meet them to see what I can, learn from them, and then assess if it's like a valuable relationship,
Yeah.
and I take everything with a grain of salt. And I've kind of learned the art of listening without listening. If I mean, like that,
Without
listening
appearing that you're
to what's
listening.
said, listening to what's not being said. And
Mm,
I'm not gonna say I always know, but I can tell if somebody's BSing me or not, or
yes.
seeing me as somebody that they see as valuable, um, as an equal, as somebody who could be their equal, or somebody as they see that they just want to use. And sometimes I'm okay with somebody wanting to use me, as long as it's not like I'm not a clown. I'm not talking about that. But if somebody wants me to come here and they paying me, and I'm going to
Mm,
get a benefit, like I'm going to go to a conference or something, okay. If you wanted to bring me around because you wanted some diversity for the week, okay. And I'm gonna gain experience, okay. But
right.
if you bringing me around because you want to show that you have diversity, but I'm not getting anything out of it, nah, son, I'm good. So it's
And even if there's something being exchanged, it's still not what you're getting out of it. And I'm not a tick for tack person, but I don't
I
like
am
being a
for certain things.
token. And I don't like to be this, like you said, this thing that you are just putting on display. Like I
Yeah.
don't, and I find that happening a lot. And I'm not a person that hates white people, but but there's a level of racism in
and
all white
and it
people, and
doesn't
they
even have
just
to
don't
be.
acknowledge it.
And it doesn't even have to. I mean, and it could be any race though. It could be anybody
Yeah,
because I found
yeah.
that also like it could be age.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know more than you, or um,
Right.
I've been doing this for 50 years and you just starting out, and so you need
Right.
to do this for 40 more years, and then once you get to where I get, or maybe
Mm.
you've gotten to where you are way before they did,
Right.
or
Right.
you've passed
Or you've
them.
gotten to their level twice and less and twice and half the time. I mean,
hmm Or
it's
because
just a
we
lot. I mean, in terms of this, and we're out of Maryland right now, but in terms of like our art community here, how do you think we can improve those relationships? So be-
honestly,
I'll say generally, like
honestly,
inside of our culture, and maybe at large as well.
honestly,
Uh
I
huh.
think, I think that it's important for us to just create our own spaces. I think that
Right.
we need to work. I think that we need to get better at working together. That's my biggest issue that I've seen, that we don't
Hmm.
really. I think so. I said we need to create our own spaces, but not to the point where everything is me, 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 me. Because
Right.
sometimes we don't collaborate in the best ways.
Yeah.
Um like we might say that we want to collaborate, but then when it comes to putting together, it's kind of like everyone is looking out for themselves. And I know I'm not raised like that. And and I'm not about negativity, and I'm not about foolishness. And
Hmm.
you know about me. As much as I kid and play around, when it comes to like work, I'm serious. And so
Right.
if I get like somebody who, yeah, we'll collaborate, but then they come in and then they all shady boots, I'm kind of like, what you doing? And so I don't think people. Whereas
You can be
I
honest.
I feel like other people have mastered the art of collaboration.
Well, I think the problem with us is what we look for in other races. We bring that attitude home when it's time for us to work with each other. And if it and it's an ugly trend that I see. So if you aren't the such and such company, or you don't have the ability to um, take me to another level or bring me up a notch, I don't want to work with you. And that's the problem that I see within our own culture. And the problem is, uh, we aren't at these spaces that we are expecting for you to be at to help me get up. So I don't want to help you move up, because in essence, if I'm helping you to take your platform to another level, then inevitably you will bring me along with you or introduce me. But I have people that call me up and ask me, well, what software do y'all use at Big Expose? Or how do you get your sponsors, or who are your sponsors, or how did you get in touch with this person, or how did, and they asking me questions and they haven't put in the work. So when I say no, I can't give you that information, or uh, I can consult with you and you can give me a stipend, or you can pay me to consult for you. Oh no, that's not. I wasn't looking to do that. I just needed to know how to get XYZ. When those issues, we need to settle some of those issues before we can even think about partnering with each other. Because I'm holding what my resources are, and you're doing the same thing, and we're not really working together. So the event or whatever we are producing doesn't really get handled. Me personally, I like working with you, Nicole, because I can say this is what I'm going to do, and you say, well, Nate, this is what I'm going to do, and we make sure all the other areas are covered, and it happens. I've never had an issue with working with you. And I never felt like you were hiding something, and I definitely wasn't hiding anything. But most times it
Well,
doesn't
also
work
just
like
tell each
that.
other to our face though too, because that's who we are.
Yeah, but that level of honesty is rare within ourselves because I have a motive for working with you. It's not that, hey, I know I'm good at these things and these are the things that you need, Nate. So let's figure out a chance to work together. No, they want to come on and to perceive that, and I'm getting a little personal in this moment because this is just my experience. We're not
Mm-hmm.
healthy with our decision making within our
Mm-hmm.
own culture, and we're not allowing each other to grow and to be better and do better. We're not allowing ourselves to do those things because we just don't trust each other.
No,
Or
it's sad.
I want you to make me rich and successful, and
No,
I'm
it's
not really
sad
even
how
going to
many
give
of these
back to you.
businesses
Go
are,
ahead.
are gonna close during this quarantine and afterwards because of this people not supporting.
Uh huh.
And they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, I really like that place, but you wasn't going there before this though.
Yeah.
You
Or
wasn't.
you were going. You were going every other day. But how many times did you promote that business? But because
Who
that
was
business
asking for a
wasn't helping
discount?
you directly, you didn't
Mhm.
want to give them that type of support.
Mhm.
But I've realized even in this quarantine, I've realized more allies that I had than
Mhm.
anything. I didn't realize how many because I didn't see all their faces. And I've done the same thing to people. I've shown my face to the people that I support. And they were shocked that I was even paying attention to them. And I'm thinking, well, how didn't you know I was liking and sharing? But we don't often see that. But we
Mhm.
equate how much you speak about me publicly to how
Mhm.
much I'm supporting you. And often the reason I don't speak about people publicly is because their brand don't naturally match up to what my mission is. So if I'm promoting this thing over here that don't match up to what my mission is, I'm kind of going against my mission. But I still share out, I still buy, so
Mhm.
support financially, and I do it outside of my name. I don't
Mhm.
often put my name on it because it's not. I don't need that type of fanfare. But I think before we can even begin to, I think we need to use this moment that we have where we're very restricted to really figure out our partnerships. And I don't and you know what the ultimate problem is, Nicole? We worry about whether we like somebody or not. And that's
No,
how other cultures work together.
you know how many times I've said that? I've told I have a couple people that I mentor, and I was like, you know how
Hmm.
many people I work with that I don't like, but it's about business,
Yes.
okay? If you liked
Yeah.
everybody you work with, you would never get nothing
You'd be by
done.
yourself. Yeah. Or if you work with everybody who liked you would probably realize you could be
I
working
feel
by
like
yourself sometimes.
I feel like people tolerate me. I got like a handful of people that probably actually like me. You know, I got a very special
But
personality,
that's still whether I like you or not has
but they
nothing
know
to
I'm gonna get it.
do.
They know I'm gonna get the job done, though. They know I'm gonna
Now
get the job.
there are people who I've chose to not work with, and that's because of if you don't share my work ethic, I can't work with you. I'm the type of person I don't get into the house until midnight because I'm either at the station or I'm here and I'm doing work beyond that. And I'm not saying I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm big bossing, but I work hard because I've been an independent artist, an independent worker, working for myself for a very long time. So I eat based on what I do. And but that whole thing of whether somebody like you or not, like, and the problem that other we have with other cultures are they are intimidated by us. So the
You met
idea
my
of us
mom,
coming
so
into
you know
their
how I
space,
roll.
right? But a lot of people now are based on their attitude is based on their power. So their power is directly a reflection of what their title is. So if you're the director of such and such, or the associate director of this, or it's all about a label. And that's the problem I think that we have with other cultures. They've already been in charge for a number of years. So when we come in and we step in, they see how talented we are, but they want to keep our talent at
I
with a
confuse people.
glass ceiling.
I confuse
Go
people,
ahead.
Nate, because they be saying stuff to me like, and they, at certain levels. And I'm cool. I'm telling you, I'm cool.
Mm.
But say something to
Mm-hmm.
me the wrong way, and I don't care. I'm like, who they talking to? And then they be confused, like, did she just say? And I'm not disrespectful, but they just be like, did she just say so and so? And the other people be looking, and I'm like, I just was trying to figure out who you were talking to right now, because
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
don't matter.
I've had to learn how to
A
for a
person
long
is a
time, and
person
it's
is a
just
person.
how we were trained. Like and especially in theater, you're trained to be more humble. But out here, when you're working in these environments, you have to. It has to be a balance of humility, but you got to know how to project and stand up for yourself in moments. And you also have to be prepared for them never want to work with you again, or them to
Because I
talk
teach
about you
you
to
that
other
the
people.
I made up my mind a long time ago, and I get it. Actually, I mean, probably my mother and my father are the same way. And I'm spoiled, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a good trait or whatever, but if I'm gonna work for the rest of my life, ain't nobody gonna treat me any kind of way. Okay? You
Uh
don't know me like
huh.
that. You don't know me like that.
And see, I used to look at people with that, and I've looked at you before, and like, I can't do that.
I know it's
Like,
because I'm a
I just
little
can't.
different.
And I'm very vocal. I'll say it at the time when it's happening, but at the same, like that whole like I think it's a different way that people have chose to do it, and I'm starting to even mix that into how I'm doing. I'm more confrontational. I wasn't as confrontational. I would speak up for myself, but I
Mhm,
would do it in when it was built up in me. And
mhm.
I'm learning how to be more confrontational at the meeting table, and not just I'm not going to send you a phone call home, because I want everybody at this table to know
Yeah.
not to try me like that.
And I mean, I've like I've balanced, but I'm like, because my motto is I don't have any children, and I'm single, so the only person I got to worry about is me and the guinea pigs. So
Not the guinea pig.
Pickles and Finster. But
I
anyway, let
can't.
me tell you about my show, because I don't got too much longer. I get distracted.
Hmm.
Anyway, what you want to
So
know?
tell us about the Big Girl Chronicles. We're doing it on May 17th, Sunday, May the 17th
Hmm.
at 3 p.m. And we'll
Hmm.
be broadcasting simultaneously from YouTube and from Facebook.
Hmm.
Come on out. It's a show that I said we did it once before at the Cultural Arts Center down off of Howard Street. Can you tell us, just give us a synopsis of the play and kind of run through some of the ladies that'll be in it?
I'm really excited about this cast, actually. Um, so it's set in a support group.
Hmm.
Um, all of the characters have their own personalities. Um, we've got a housewife. We've got a serial dater. I'm trying to think who else is in there. We've got someone who's really quiet, very mysterious. We don't know what's going on with her. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like I'm giving a terrible synopsis of this. Basically, everybody has a story to tell, but it's all about empowering women and coming together. And I mean, it's all about being perfectly imperfect. And it's not just about being plus size, even though um, it's called the Big Girl Chronicles. One thing that really stuck out to me after I did it, and I did actually after I we did it the last time, was to bring it back and maybe travel with it, or at least give it a weekend or something. And who knows? I really would like to do it again, and hopefully we'll get to do that in the near future. But
Hmm.
I got so many calls and had conversations with people who said, "Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it." People used to pick on me when I was in school because I was really tall. Do you know how hard it was for me to find clothes? Or my mom made fun of me because I was really petite. Or
Hmm.
I didn't like how I looked. I had acne, or everybody that I talked to had something that they identified with, even more than I could have even anticipated when I did it. So it was really just about just womanhood, and so I really am excited to bring this back, and hopefully it'll bring up some conversations again. So.
And then I'm really excited. I mean, well, this has been for me a different way of producing and directing and just being in the art scene, and it's really forcing me to kind of put to the side the things that we like to be in terms of the perfection that theater has, and just let people listen to words. So this is my way of doing a readers theater. And as I said before, when I start promoting the first show that we did, this is really what the Artist Exchange was supposed to be. My intent my intention was to do more theater on radio, because that's kind of what I kind of gravitated towards in my theater history classes and stuff like that. And it was kind of the origins of radio, and I really wanted to bring that back, and really figure out how to get people heard. So we want to do this for more artists. If Nicole has more that she wants to show, until this quarantine is completely over, I want to continue to do this, and have a space for people to be able to come to in terms of theater. So every other Saturday we're going to do this, in terms of because we don't have to worry about that time period that you need to promote and all that. Those rules are out the window now. And right now we're creating a new space, a new vehicle for art, and I love it. And I would not. I've reached out to Nicole, because I've reached out to people who are writers, who are artists, and really need something to kind of keep themselves going in this moment in terms of putting their art out there. So again, it's going to be on May the 17th. Can you name some of the ladies that's in it? I know Miss Katrina Jones, Lisa, and people that you normally see at Arena Players, Miss Kate Kubi, Caitlin Kubi. Am I saying it right? Kendall.
Kendall's last name. I'm a terrible person.
You're not a terrible person. You just work a lot. And some of these actresses me on Nicole have never met before. So we're co-directing this, and
Andromeda Backus.
So some of these people we have never met before. And that's the fun part of doing this. That's the brilliant part of now this new virtual world that we are putting theater in. We're meeting people who we've never met before. I'm meeting
Ballard all the way from Brooklyn.
Okay, cool. So she'll be calling in from Brooklyn. So that makes this that much more, because normally when we put on plays, you have to put people who are accessible to the area, or who can be, in the area. And I love it, because people who you wouldn't normally get to work with, we're getting to work with now. So Nicole has to unfortunately go. So it's just going to be me. I thought Tara would be calling in, but she hasn't called in yet. But hey, see you later, Mr. Cole. I think I'll send me the link, and I'll come in right after the show's over, if y'all still rehearsing.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye. I just got a notice my Amazon packages arrived. I've also been compulsively shopping.
Don't do that unless you're buying something for all of us. Just saying.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. So that was Miss Nikki. Our other guest is not. I guess she's not coming. But oh well, it's me. I'm here. I'm excited. Oh no, I think I just turned it off. No. Am I back on? So yeah. So like I was just saying with Nicole, we are doing her show on May the 17th, and it's been a series of plays, and and readings that we'll be doing. Like I said, we'll be continuing with the poetry every Saturday, and we'll kind of probably intercept that with maybe one more event. I'm trying not to do too much because I am getting a little too ahead of myself in terms of timing. I feel like every 2 weeks we're doing another show, and then for the playwriters part of it, it is really, I don't want to do things that are too lofty. I think there's a young lady on there. I just saw her. I think she said she wanted to give it a try. So if you're still on, send me a message and we can definitely add you on or see if we can do something else. I've been meeting people who are doing phenomenal things within the arts. And I think I'm going to begin to reach out to visual artists and music artists too and see what we can do. I know these platforms aren't the best for music. One, because there are a lot of uh, kind of licensing issues that we need for music. So I'm thinking of doing some musical theater uh, tribute for Black music theater, but I haven't decided on that yet because music is a different beast. You can get away with doing monologues, but music is they'll snatch it down immediately. So that may be a private event that we have to do off the internet versus like in a Zoom platform or something where people have to log into it and it's not accessible from social media. But I'm we're just thinking of new ideas to do, and it's really unfortunately I've been um, trying to reach out to other art organizations to see if we can partner, and a lot of people are being really standoffish, but it hasn't stopped me from continuing to do this, and I'm really excited because it's really given me a uh, a space to be creative and a space to be um, my creative self. For the first couple of weeks, as I shared on the last show on Friday, I had gotten to a space of being a little a little depressed because I'm used to being active. I'm not used to being in a house so much. I'm not used to not being able to get out and do things. And I can still get to the station probably and do some stuff, or not really. And that seems scary to me. But beyond that, I'm really thankful for Big Exposed for still being able to give us an alternative to being able to do our shows from home because I've really, I think I got through those first couple weeks because I was still doing my show and I was still tuning in and helping to share out and support the other hosts on the station. But it really made the difference in me being able to continue to do this because, as an artist, my mind was racing, but I just didn't feel the energy to keep it up. And part of the conversations that I was having with Nikki in the beginning was just finding that space to do our work. And when I say our, I mean represent Black culture. The organization that I work with, I'm not gonna say the organization, but I teach in addition to being a performance artist and visual artist. And I was told by one of the people I work with, the content that I had created, there was some issues with some of the video clips. I had to do a lesson plan, and they didn't like some of the clips that I had added to what my lesson was. And my response to her was, that's our Black history. And I can't dumb down or water down because one non Black person has an issue with it. And I don't have any, I have Black and brown students. I don't have any white students. So I personally, I can't dumb down. I wouldn't dumb down, when I had white students. And I'm certainly not going to do that when they're, it's all I'm teaching. I don't care what their age is. I know what's appropriate, but I'm not going to dumb it down. And we have to stop letting other people set the bar for our success or our talent or what we have to give. And we must stop allowing other people to determine uh, what we do and how we do it. The moment I'm not free to speak and I'm not free to share my voice as it is, I'm not going to do that. I guess I've turned down plenty of opportunities. I have people kind of come in and manage what I'm doing as a radio personality or as an artist. I've turned down a lot of opportunities to be able to share on a big platforms because people wanted to make me and mold me into something other than who I am, and I can't be anything but me. I can lose a couple pounds. I can, you know, you know, do funny things, get some different lenses, or but I can't change who I am. I can't shrink myself, and I refuse to do that any longer within the arts. And the time that I'm living in right now, in terms of this quarantine, I really have been just thinking a lot more about what's next and how I want to do things and what's to come and writing down even the things that restrict me or the things that keep me from really jumping out there. I've learned how to um, just write everything down. So I've created a lot of lists and I've journaled a lot, and I'm ready to really jump out there. And I've been having these conversations over the last year or so on this platform, and I'm really excited about what is to come, and what this quarantine, this pandemic means to what how we do things. I've been talking to a couple people, and it's just even with me jumping out there and doing these virtual events, you know that shows people who may not may not have in the past saw the work that I'm doing, and it's helping me to show people what I have to give and what I want to do and the different parts of me. And I'm really excited. And it's beyond just giving me something to do, it's really showing me how to work with, restrictions and how to work with, you know, uh, limited resources. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be successful. I want to thrive. I want to really work hard at what it is that I'm doing, and um, I don't want to give um, any more excuses for why I can't do things based on what people believe I'm capable of. And I'm really excited about how uh, creative people are getting. I've watched so many different events go on from the comfort of a bedroom or, from a cell phone right now, and all these different apps that are now popping up, and all these different possibilities and this window of opportunity we have to really cultivate relationships. And for me, I really have started to cultivate stronger bonds with people, or really see the people who have been supporting me. And I think I'm starting to lay down, sit up a little bit. But so yeah, so it's really helping me to just redefine what it is that I want and really learn um, different parts of what I'm doing. I never really focused on tech or producing as much as I did now. And it's not just about doing something just to fill up the time, but really creating a schedule, really following or creating methods and processes to being creative. And you don't have to follow the rules, and you can think outside the box. And now I'm looking at people's lives, and I'm figuring out how to make that better. I'm looking at the first event that we did, and planning for the next one that I'm doing and making it better. And I'm learning how to tweak and how to look at things before they even happen, to plan ahead and such. So I'm really excited about how things are moving. So just again, we just finished Blueprints. And the next one that we're doing is Erotic Poetry Night, which will be every week thing as well. We'll be doing that every Saturday starting. We'll be starting this one on a Thursday, but the next one next week will actually be on Saturday, and then we'll try that out. And Blue will be our host, and we'll cultivate some relationships so we can start building some relationships. And I don't know if this is going to turn into a open mic series at an actual brick and mortar, or we go keep it online, or what the deal would be. But I'm having fun trying different things now, and um, those all those moments where we're just thinking, I wonder how that would work, or I wonder how that would uh, how that could happen, or what would that look like, or how people would react to that. But now we have a space where we can try things out, and all it's going to cost us is our time. And it's not really, aside from paying for the internet or having the internet or these devices, it's really um, exciting to be in a space where we're able to try things out. Marty, are you still online? Are you still here? Are you asleep? Are you napping? You said what? The president, is he doing another bleach drinking moment? Did you want to talk about some of those things we were going to discuss Friday?
Not necessarily.
I mean,
I don't
I
know
know
why
I
you
was
trying to pull me
asking
onto the
you,
spot when
right? I was asking, but I was really saying get on here
That's what I
and
kind of
let's
figured you was
close
trying to
out.
do, but
Yeah, yeah.
success not happening.
So Marty has has a number of topics that we were going to talk about on Friday, but we kind of ran out of time. Uh, but a number of things that are going on right now. One, just the structure of businesses and how businesses are having to adapt or not
Hmm.
to this change. Customer service. I mean, I've been kept on hold for hours.
Mm.
And I forgot that I was on hold until I hear the person on the speakerphone start talking. If that business has a customer service,
Hmm.
I forgot the story that you brought up. What was the story you brought up Friday? What was you supposed to talk about Friday?
Oh, we were going to talk about the disinfectant on Friday
Oh, the
stuff.
disinfectant.
Hmm.
So, and now since you said it, I actually have had time to actually hear what he said,
Hmm.
and then I heard the rebuttal or what I think Joy Behar called it the punchline because
That
he
he
said
said
he
it was.
wasn't being
He said he
serious,
was being sarcastic.
right? But people have seen a spike from the poison control hotline
Hmm.
because people tried these things
Hmm.
and thought that
But
it would
these,
work.
but
Now
the
it will
interesting
kill the
part
virus,
is
but live on with it.
about that is that all your life, all everyone
Mhm.
in the world's life
Mhm.
knows that you're not supposed to drink the stuff under your kitchen sink.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what makes you think that this idiot in the form of a red orange that has
Yes.
no medical degree. I actually
None.
don't think his degree. I think he has an honorary degree in from Wharton, wherever the
He
school that
has
he
a
went to.
degree. They
No,
they
I know,
acknowledge
but
that
I'm
he went
saying it's
there.
honorary because I don't
Right.
think he went to class.
Well, it was obvious. He definitely paid somebody to write those papers. So his dad
I don't think
paid
nobody
somebody.
paid nobody to write them papers. I think his father paid him to get through school.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like he
Yeah.
got out of the
Yeah.
war, out of going to the war, he got out of going to
Mhm.
school, and they just gave him an honorary degree. They're not going to call it an honorary degree because they don't want to know that they took money from that dad to put him
Yeah.
through. This man's
Right.
not smart. He's not
Mm.
business savvy. He's not. I don't care what anybody say about him being a businessman. I don't care. You can fraudulently make a whole bunch of money and
Or you
call
could pay
yourself a
people to do the
businessman.
hard work, and you just put your name
Exactly.
on the
All you got to do
paperwork.
is hire a whole bunch
That's
of
why you
smart
got it.
people.
Mhm.
All you got to do
Yeah.
is hire a whole bunch of smart people to do everything for you, and then when the shit hits the fan, you file bankruptcy.
And what I think is happening with him is because one, he wasn't ready to do this job. He didn't have any type of political anything uh in his under his belt. He doesn't know how to be briefed. And I think what happened to him is he was briefed on a bunch of things and it just all was like you would just pull he was pulling that air trying to have something to say online. I
But
mean
here's the
at the
interesting thing:
press
I bet you
conference.
no one said, "Let's try and disinfect the entire body." No one said
Yeah,
that to you. You just
or
came out to the
ingest.
podium and said, aren't you guys going to be testing whether you can put disinfectant in the body?" How about we get some injectable sunlight? I mean, if it was me and I was the employee at the White House, it would have took everything from me to keep from laughing because I just would have been over in the corner laughing. I would have been fired the next day.
Well, that's what that lady's face looked like. And then what was said,
She died
but
in
I,
the inside.
she
I'm telling
was.
you, she was dumber for being present that day, for being counted as a staffer.
You know what I would have did, and she probably would never work again. But I would have just walked out. I
I
would have
I
because
don't
he was
understand how they
referencing
do this.
her.
I don't get how they do this. How do you come to work every day and subject your credentials to this?
Well,
It's
because I think a
not.
lot of them are
It's
looking
no.
at what it's going to do for their resume.
But that's the
Saying that
thing.
I worked in the
That's
White
the
House.
thing. I mean, I guess a doctor can survive this. Say, for instance, you
Yeah,
are a politician. How do you survive this? I want nothing ever, 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 ever to do with anybody that works in this administration. And as soon as I read in your resume that you had worked in this administration, you would never work for
yeah.
my company
And the, the
because
the
you
thing
held your
is,
tongue through all of this.
but see, the thing is, if nobody ever see like these people who are here with him, standing behind him, or talking during his press conferences, now they're never going to work anywhere again. But the people who are behind the scenes can say, "Well, no, I worked on the Obama administration. Like,
Mm.
I have credentials from." But the ones who are actually like this lady, she was sitting on that side by her damn self, and he really threw her under the bus. But I think for him, he it was everything that people, and it's probably like 5 or 6 people around him briefing him as he's walking to the podium. And I think what happened was and I'm not excusing his stupidity. I'm just saying what I know probably happened to somebody who's not used to being briefed and not given information right then and there. Like, as for me, and I equated it to me learning my lines. I can't learn my lines moments before I go on stage
Mm.
because it's not going to come out of my mouth correctly.
But
I'm
he
gonna
don't.
just
That's the thing. He
try to
doesn't like to read. He doesn't like to learn line. He doesn't like to get educated. He thinks that he
right,
already knows this stuff, and then he goes
right,
out on stage, and
yeah,
and 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 what's it called when you improvs? He goes out on
improv.
stage and
Yeah,
improvs.
he winging
One of
it.
his
Yeah,
favorite words is that no one has ever done this better than like this before. No one's done this like this before. This is
no
incredible.
one,
No one's ever done it like this
no
before.
one,
Just like no
no
one's
one,
ever drink
no.
disinfectant without wanting to commit suicide. No one's done that.
The memes and the lady who was being referenced during that press conference, she went on air. I think it was today, and was like, "He was just joking. We thought it was very lighthearted." Miss, but you clearly can see, and you've heard from the poison control line, the numbers spiked in the number of calls
hmm
that they get on a daily basis because people were thinking that they really could inject these cleaning supplies.
but that means so to get to the poison control number on the back of a Lysol can, you have to bypass the fact that it says do not ingest.
Not not for internal use.
That's how dumb that you had to get to the phone number to call them for them to tell you what they have clearly written on the can.
Mm.
Where's my Lysol can? Matter of fact, I think
But
I got a can of
the number is on all the
I got a
cans,
can of
but
Febreze
it's
right
on
here.
the cans for children. It's not on the can for adults.
I have a
It's
can
not
of
written there for adults.
but for children that can't read, that's when your parents step in and say, you're not supposed to don't put that in your mouth. Don't drink that.
But
Stay from
these
under
were
the kitchen
adults.
sink.
These were adults that were ingesting
That's
this.
what
This
I'm
wasn't
saying.
children.
That's what I'm saying. So you bypass all of the warnings that says keep out of reach of children and parents. Do not spray towards the face. If eye contact occurs, rinse well with water. If irritation persists, get medical attention. Do not expose to heat or flames or store in temperatures above 120 degrees. Dispose of properly. Do not puncture or incinerate container. Do not freeze. Safe for around for around cats and dogs, for around, not inside of them. As as with other air care products, not for use around birds. Oh, you can kill birds with this?
I'm over this. I really am over this because the level of stupidity that is being um displayed. Like I don't see how anybody can defend continuing working with him. Go get unemployment. He is making it hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody's going to respect you. You're not going to have integrity, especially some of these professionals like the doctors. Like who what hospital do they currently work for? And I'm sure it's one of those future care places that's losing all these patients that's just
Oh, that's what it
hiding
says.
it
It
from
says
family.
for Febreze, it says, "Do not inhale."
Mm, do not squirt on your tongue as if it's Banaka. Like, don't do that.
Mm.
It's dumb. I when you first brought it up, I had saw the memes and stuff, but I hadn't heard it. But I really sit down and listen to it this morning, and that was I couldn't imagine him actually saying it out his mouth. So when he actually said it, and it was like mumbling, he was like this, but it sounds serious. I didn't see a joke come out of his mouth or him laughing afterwards, saying how ridiculous that sounded. But he really
He was
he
serious.
want us to inject it into
Hmm.
our
But
bloodstream.
but
As
but
if,
the funniest part of this, it wasn't even the disinfectant, because even a naive person should have known not to do that. I don't understand why you even had to call poison control to say, is this safe? Like, that's not a question
mm,
that you should call poison control and say. The president said I could drink this, and then I would have just hung up. If I was on poison control's line, I was,
yeah,
hello? Are you seriously? Are you asking me,
right.
can you drink this? Are you okay? Do I need to get the somebody from the psychiatrist ward on the line? Because you seem like you
Because
got
I've
questions
got
about your
them I've
sanity.
got them I got the numbers like really decreasing and them not having nothing to do. But now all of a sudden this idiot that told people that it's a possibility that this could cure them,
Mhm.
and
But the
I just want to
funniest
see the
part
faces.
of it was the injection of sunlight.
Now that's the part that was confusing. So he said we could
So here's the,
what could
the
we
here's the
do?
basis of that. Okay, here's where that started from. Because sunlight, the UV rays from the sun, kills the coronavirus, as it does
Okay,
with
I
any
got that
other
point.
germ. If As it does with any other germ, that's what UV
So
does.
he wants us to
He
cut ourselves
said,
open.
no, he said, looking at one of the doctors, I don't know if it was Dr. Burke or not, but he looked over to
Mhm.
the side and said, I know you're going to be trying to figure out how to inject sunlight. You're going to be trying to figure that out. Well, you can stop
Okay.
figuring it out, because you cannot inject sunlight.
Well, I thought he meant like cut us open and just let the sun hit you, but
Now,
you
do
will die
you
from
know
that.
that the all right? So you know that the sun is made up of radiation, right? so, so
And see,
it's
that's what
not good for your skin at all.
no, but see, and see, I got people talking about these things around him, and he just picked up bits and pieces of conversation around him and tried to wing it with that information. And
It's like the
somebody
only
told
thing that our skin is able to absorb from the sun is vitamin D. Everything
me,
else that comes from the sun is harmful to us.
yes, yes,
So,
yes,
like, it's not like we can go to the sun and just walk around and to be like, okay, I'm COVID free. No, you're dead.
and then breathe it in and watch your nose is bust out into flames. Like
It's,
use a whole dummy, sir. But
it's
maybe somebody suggested radiation treatment like they treat cancer,
but it's
and
not.
he
That's the
saw it
thing. There's a difference
radiation,
between a cancer.
UV, sunlight.
There's a
So
difference
maybe
between
we could just
cancer and a disease and a virus.
yes, 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 yes. But
Like, they
this
already
the
tried trying to treat AIDS with chemo, and that's not a
right.
sufficient path to take, because your immune
Uh
system
huh.
is already compromised. That's why it's called the acute immune.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. But
So the
I
same thing
just
is with this. This is a virus that is attacking your immune system and your respiratory system at the same time. So
so
even if you try to disinfect the entire body, what is there to restore after you're compromised? I'm
well
not a doctor,
they
and
could
I can logically put two and two together.
well
If
I
you
mean he didn't say you was gonna be alive. He just said we can try this out. he didn't promise that you was gonna be alive
Hmm.
during
Yeah.
this time period.
Well, you're not testing that kind of stuff on me. No.
Well, to go to a more local news level, did you vote in the did you mail in your ballot?
Did I receive a ballot? I think that should be the better question.
So you didn't receive one? They didn't just mail it out to everybody
No,
in
election
his.
day is tomorrow, so no. I thought that's why I sent you a question
Mhm.
earlier in the show. Is tomorrow election day or not? Like, I don't know. I haven't heard.
Well, I think a lot of people mailed theirs in.
I don't want to put. I really didn't want to. I mean, I'm not going to nobody's poll place. That's out. So
So you didn't get a. I'm confused as to like, did people get ballots in the
that's what I
mail,
don't know. I think they. And I'm going to look it up now because I don't know if they
or you
postponed
had to
it.
request it?
They may have postponed it and they just didn't.
Because a lot of the reason I thought about it, because I thought it was already postponed, but I saw a lot of people online, taking pictures of them saying, "Hey, I mailed in my ballot." So I thought it was something that we supposed to got in the mail, but not everybody in say Baltimore is voting, are they?
I'm
It's
looking
only
it up
people
now.
that's in his that and I think that's his ex-wife. I mean his wife and Kwesi and Fume. The special
So is
election.
this is just the primary? So let me look at Baltimore primary.
I'm confused. I just don't want this to last until May. I'm so already mad that my trip was canceled. Well, this was postponed. It wasn't canceled.
Special election will be taking place as scheduled on April the 28th, mainly by mail, but there will be 3 in-person polling places for voters who are unable to vote by mail. Election day is November the 3rd. I already know that part.
So where are you supposed to get the ballot from? Do you go online or are you supposed to print it out? But it should have been mailed to everybody.
All right, so this says Governor Larry Hogan moved the Democratic and Republican presidential primaries to June 2nd due to the coronavirus. The 7th District Congressional Special General Election is taking place as scheduled on April 28th.
Because that one really don't matter to them. That's why they're doing it.
I guess they got to get that seat filled. I mean,
Well, Kwesi Fume is it, right? He's the temporary person right now, right?
no, I don't think anybody's filling in right now.
I thought he was the temporary one because they did an emergency election.
Tomorrow is the emergency election.
I thought that already happened.
Nope. And it says mainly by mail, but there will be three in-person polling places for voters who are unable to vote
That's dangerous because
by
everybody got
mail.
to go to those 3 places.
Yeah.
Well,
So I guess they
Kwesi
move
Fume,
into
he
Baltimore
won.
because tomorrow was supposed to be the Baltimore mayoral primary too.
Ooh.
But I guess they pushing that to June 2nd as well because it's not they just doing
But for
the
some,
congressional.
I don't know why, but I thought we already had an emergency election and that's Kwesi and Fume was in that spot.
Mm-mm. I'm
Well,
confused on where
Sheila's gonna be the mayor, and Kwesi's gonna be the new
congressman.
congressman. Sheila's the only one that I see that is like visible. So who else will people vote for other than Brandon?
Hmm.
Because I don't think people even remember who else is.
It says early
Who else?
voting began on April the 16th.
That's what I said. People were showing that they were sending in their ballots, and I'm like, well, did everybody get them
It
in the
did move.
mail?
Okay, here it is. Primary election day is going to be on June 2nd. So they moved it.
For mayor, and the other
Hmm.
positions in the city.
Yeah.
So are they still doing the emergency election then?
That's tomorrow.
Okay.
for
I'm
for
gonna go.
Congress. Yeah.
I don't think I
And
think
I think
Quasi is
Wyoming,
gonna
and if he steps in, if he does, I think he automatically becomes chairman because he would be a ranking member.
who Quasi?
Yeah, because that was his original seat. So he would
Uh
still take back over the committees that
Elijah.
Elijah was chairing
Mm,
because that was his seat before Elijah.
right,
So he
right.
still would become a ranking member.
Mm. This is it. This is interesting, and I'm a little nervous because I feel like I don't feel like especially our local government are really. I don't see them like I see Sheila way more than I see anybody else. I see people trying to like push Brandon into it and maybe a person here and there, but I don't physically see anybody else. So I'm
Hmm.
really worried that
Yeah, but we
this
got to
is
make sure
instead of
now that we're talking about this because if the election is tomorrow, since the election is tomorrow, we really do
mm,
got to vote because you know who we up against. Who
who
Kwesi is actually up against is that Republican chick, the one that the black girl.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's the
What's
election
her
we
name?
had.
Kasich, something
So
like that.
yes, so that's the election that we had because remember Kwesi and Fume was up against Elijah Cummings, white.
Right, but they both Democrats, so they were fighting on the Democratic side. On the Republican
Right. So
side was
that's
her.
the election that I was referring to.
Right.
So that
This is
okay.
to
So
decide the definitive fate of that seat.
yeah. So that's what I was. Okay, now I know I wasn't crazy. I was like, I thought we already did that.
Hmm.
I thought that was something we already. But we decided the Democratic Republican candidates
Right.
at that time.
Right. Correct.
Right.
The one I never made it to.
You out of control, and you in West Baltimore.
There was no polling places open down here.
Mm. You could have went to any other polling place.
I could have if life was set up that way.
I'm surprised you don't do early voting though. I'm always been shocked
Because
you
I
didn't
like to
do
go
early.
out and see the people and make sure
You
everything is
don't.
okay and copacetic. At my, I'm the auditor of my polling place. If things ain't going right, I'm going to report about it.
Right.
I don't do lines.
I'm
I've never,
snitching.
and ever since I've been a registered voter, I have never
Hmm.
stood in a line.
Um, I think last year was the first year, or the year before last, rather, was the first time I've ever done an election where I had to. Well, the last president election.
Hmm.
So it's been 3 years now that
Even
I've
then,
ever
there wasn't a
basically
line in my
combined.
polling place.
Yeah,
And
but
that,
they've combined a lot of polling places now.
and that's
So
the
if
problem.
there is a line, that's the problem. But once they decide which place you're voting for, it tells you which side to go to. So that's the
Hmm.
line that you're standing in to see which polling place you're coming to
I've
or
been going to
coming
this
from.
school on Washington Boulevard for a long time, and it wasn't open this time. So I don't know. And you would think
They
it would be
must have
open because
combined it
that's the
then.
Howard County. That's the between the Baltimore County, Howard County, and all that line.
But see, but is that still his jurisdiction? Is it
Yeah,
in
he's
his
Baltimore
jurisdiction?
County, Baltimore City, and Baltimore County,
Okay.
and Anne Arundel
I
County,
don't
and
have
a
no
portion
other
of Anne
excuse.
Arundel County.
Um, mm. I'm now I think people and nobody's been talking about it though. So that's I think the part that so maybe it may work out in Kwesi and Fume's favor, but
Yeah, I don't know.
because I
I
don't think
haven't
a
heard
lot of
anything
people will
from
go
him.
out.
I haven't heard a lot from anybody but Sheila. So that's the thing.
That's what I've said. She's the only one. Like she's doing lives once a week,
Hmm.
and Al Mayer isn't doing. Brandon just did, I think, his first one yesterday or this weekend. But the rest of them haven't done anything. We see her out.
That's because
I'm very proud of her.
yeah,
I have to say it.
the mayor, the current one, the interim, He has
The
been.
acting, the acting, the acting mayor,
He's not my mayor.
the acting
He's
mayor.
the interim. He has been doing a lot of stuff on WBAL live because of the coronavirus stuff. So that's probably why you haven't seen him
Mm.
trying to act like
But
he in
he doesn't
charge or
feel like he
something.
has to connect with the everyday people though, because
Well, you seen
that's
his
everybody in the
his
house.
little last press conference where he was somebody was a homeless person was yelling in protest, and
Mm.
the man was doing sign language to everything that the protester was saying, and he pulled the guy to the side and said, "You work for us."
Oh, so that's the last thing I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and that just if he had any like hope, that just he
Mm-hmm.
lost it. He lost it because all the comments underneath of it was like the interpreter is there for the people who can't understand,
Mm-hmm.
like not just
They needed to know what was
to
going
people
on in
here.
the confusion, right? He was doing the
Right.
right thing by signing what was happening inside the confusion for why you can't talk because he's protesting, and that was being
Yeah.
heard audibly over top on the camera. So he needed to tell us what was happening for those that
But
can't hear.
part of the problem is the Weinberg Center has shut down.
Mm,
So that was like the big homeless like place where the homeless people go for healthcare and all that. All that is shut down.
mm,
And the problem is they get all the funding for homeless care and all that. They get the most money and they're shut down. So
mm,
they've shown a lot of people who have been going through there have been taking pictures and video of the place being shut down. I think somebody tried to break in, it's boarded up, the door's boarded up.
mm-hmm.
But so hopefully Monty has time to come in tomorrow
We'll
and we
see.
can get some stories together on this election. Because I'm really nervous as to the leadership now because everything is going to shit in a handbasket. Um, but did my headphones work? Did
Yes,
they
that was
work?
this was a much better show. Yes.
I'm not gonna tell you somebody brought them to me because they got tired of you yelling at me on this screen. But I'm gonna say that that's what happened. So thank you to that person. They said they did it anonymously.
Did you wipe them down real good?
They were still in the pack. They were still in the pack.
Did
They
you
were
wipe
still
the
in the pack.
packaging down real good?
I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did.
Because
So
that could be patient 9999.
oh, I've been doing good. I'm not playing with none of these hoes. I'm not. Nope. Nope. If you can't FaceTime me, baby, you won't see
Here's the
me.
interesting thing. Look, me and Nicole went to the market last night, and
Uh
she
huh.
got to sneezing in the car. I got out.
I'm like, can you go and can you fix that mirror outside?
I said, I'm getting out of here. You can have this vehicle.
I'll catch a lift back home. Just
I'm not
lock the
doing
door
this.
when
She
you
was
get
like, it's
out.
allergies. I don't give a damn.
Allergies. It's cold as it is outside. You laugh. Well, we're closing out the Artist Exchange. The next show will be maybe Talk Lately,
Yeah,
possibly.
it's a real. The way I'm feeling right now is not, but tomorrow might be a different story.
Anything is possible.
I'm not
And don't
sick. I'm
forget,
tired. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and then I worked a full shift today, so I'm not sick.
he walked all the way down to the basement and boys his feet tired. But don't miss this Thursday at 9 p.m. We're doing a special virtual open mic, erotic poetry open mic hosted by Mr. Blue Waters of the Cocktail Social that comes on Fridays at 7 p.m. And our feature for this erotic poetry experience is Naja B. Naja. We're celebrating her birthday, so please tune in. Please do your due diligence, all that jazz. And keep tuning into Big Exposed Radio. If you're still looking for an opportunity to, say, do your live show and you want somebody to help you broadcast it, call on Big Exposed Radio. Email us at info@bigexposedradio.com and we'll be here for you. Peace out.